Former Deputy President Gachagua has told off President William Ruto for what he termed as profiling communities behind the tribal lines. Gachagua says Ruto is abusing his office by using unpresidential language when addressing key concerns raised by Kenyans. According to Gachagua, who was speaking at the burial in Laikipia County, the language by the head of state is abusive and exacerbates division in the country.
You are profiling communities. The people of Mount Kenya region, you call them tribalists. The people of Kambani, you demean them, call them Dego farmers. The people of Isiolo, you call them drug peddlers. Mr. President, be careful, because I have listened to the ground and I want to advise you today, stop abusing the people of Kenya. Because if you continue, Mr. President, these Kenyans will abuse you.
The former second-in-command further called to order the head of state and asked him to respect the highest office of the land by upholding its dignity. Gachagua remarks comes after President William Ruto was forced to quell boiling tensions in the northeastern region when he abolished the vetting of persons when seeking registration and immense resistance to the mass cattle vaccination drive.
Hiyo ofisi ni kubwa. And some of us would want to occupy that office one day. Hatutaki ikosewe heshima. Rais na kuomba, tafadhali wacha kutukana wa Kenya. Hata kama hawajasoma, hata kama hawana PhD, hata kama hawana degree, ndio walikuchagua hawa. Na hao ndio walikupatia hiyo kiti. Hakuna haja uwatukane. Hakuna haja watu wakisema wataki chanjo unawaita wajinga. Hakuna haja utukane hao watumishi ya Mungu kusema ati hawajasoma. Hakuna haja uita watu wajinga. Hakuna haja hii watu ya Mlima Kenya walikuchagua kuita hao wa kabila. Na walikuchagua wakijua wewe si mmoja wao. Please, Mr. President, with tremendous respect to the office that you occupy, stop demeaning your office by abusing the people of Kenya.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has said he will accept the outcome of the African Union Commission chairperson elections scheduled for this Saturday during the ordinary session of the head of state meeting in Addis Ababa. Speaking at the Bomas of Kenya, where he addressed ODM leaders and women enthusiasts during his special prayer service, Raila said he will graciously return home if he loses to either Djibouti's Mohamed Yusuf or Madagascar's Richard Randriamandrato as he eyes to discuss Moussa following the lapse of his 2 years tenure.
Tutafanya pamoja na viongozi wote wa bara la Afrika. Kwa mimi natoa shukrani sana kwenu. Leo sitaki kusema mambo mengi zaidi. Maana leo nyinyi mnaombea mimi. Si mnaombea mimi? Sio? Naenda kwenye kinyang'anyiro, sio? Sivyo? Mimi nina hakika tutakienda pale kwa kiongozi ya Mwenyezi Mungu tutafaulu. Tukishinda tumefaulu. Tukishindwa tumefaulu.
And into the realignments to the 2027 elections, ODM has urged, or rather Odinga has urged, Nairobi leaders to remain united as he entrusted Governor Johnson Sakaja with the responsibility of leading the city's political affairs in his absence. Raila assured ODM members in the capital that they should remain steadfast while he is away, as the governor will oversee all political matters. This crushing the hopes of Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, who has hinted at vying for the capital's top seat in the 2027 general or rather governor election.
Nataka Nairobi ibaki imara. Nataka Nairobi ibaki namna gani? Ndio huyo kijana yangu huyo ashikilie na afanye kazi sawa sawa. Si sawa sawa hiyo? Sivyo? Yale maneno maovu ambayo yanafanyika hapa tumepinga.
And after much praise from senior ODM party officials led by Chairperson Gladys Wanga and Makadara MP George Aladwa for working closely with the ODM party, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja hinted at the plans of decamping President William Ruto's UDA party to Raila's ODM party ahead of the next election.
Aladwa na nimesikia Wanga. Dalili ya mvua nini? Dalili ya mvua ni nini? Mwenye macho haambiwi na mwenye masikio haambiwi. Sisi tuko hapo bumper to bumper, tuko pamoja. Hawa mama, mimi nataka tupange baadaye. Situmalize maombi ya baba wiki hii. Wiki mbili zikifika hivi, nataka niwe na mkutano na wamama, viongozi wa Nairobi wa ODM. Tukae, tuzungumziane. Si ndio hiyo? Tutakaa na machairman pia. Tuzungumziane. Nionyeshe vile mimi ni kijana wenu tu.
Pearl Newsbeat.
Parliament is scheduled to resume its fourth session tomorrow following a recess period during which both the National Assembly and the Senate have been on break. During the upcoming session, Parliament is expected to reconstitute 18 of its committees, a standard procedure that occurs once Parliament reconvenes from recess. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has urged the Azimio la Umoja coalition leaders to occupy the majority seats in Parliament after the High Court ruled that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is not the House majority. A three-judge bench ruled that President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza is not the majority and cannot claim seniority status. Kalonzo therefore holds that the Azimio coalition should take the rightful position pending how official House leadership changes.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And officials from the Social Health Authority have been taken to task to explain the delayed disbursement of funds to facilities, locking out patients, including public servants, from accessing medical services. Led by the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Health, the Medical Services Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai admitted that delayed remittance of funds to facilities had blocked health services delivery. The members of the Departmental Health Committee on Health were also joined by officials from the Ministry of Health and representatives from the SHA board.
Because under the new social health insurance funding, the public servants scheme or the enhanced public servants scheme is no longer under SHA. That is now under the Public Servants Officers Medical Fund. So that is now has been removed, and SHA has been contracted separately to provide that service. And they are supposed to pay 3% of the total amount. 2, if they have not paid, as of now, you hear a lot of complaints because SHA, under the Public Officers Medical Fund, have not remitted anything to the facilities. And so most of the facilities are not treating the public servants or civil servants.
This as the International Commission of Jurists has accused the Social Health Authority of discrimination, adding that key health financing options have been overlooked, set to meet healthcare needs for Kenyans. ICJ Kenya Executive Director Eric Mukoya says key tenets of healthcare service, including accountability, have not been factored in, leaving many Kenyans in the dark when seeking for healthcare. Mukoya says private hospitals have also been given more priority on health financing, leaving vulnerable Kenyans unable to foot their health bills.
To be an expert in health financing, but I dare say any model that does not ground the public health sector as the primary quality healthcare delivery mechanism in this country, and that private health sector is complementing public health sector, that model will not succeed, and it is a foundation of discrimination of citizens, creating the haves and the have-nots, that the haves will get better healthcare funded by the have-nots will not get any healthcare service.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And across the borders, Romania's President Klaus Iohannis has resigned following pressure for him to step down ahead of a rerun of a presidential election that was controversially cancelled last year. The December vote was voided by Romania's top court after allegations of Russian state meddling. The outgoing Iohannis, a pro-EU liberal, had said he will stay on in office until a successor was elected in May, but that had been strongly criticized by far-right politicians and their supporters who had performed well in the first round of the vote in December. Their criticisms had inspired tens of thousands of Romanians to take to the streets last month in protest against the election's cancellation. Opposition lawmakers had launched a motion in Parliament again on Monday to move for the president's suspension. In response, Iohannis said he will step down in a bid to limit what he said will have been a damaging and divisive referendum for the country.